One more time.
Then you'd be 1 minute.
Okay. Mark time on the rules. By the center. Quick. Huh.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the processional will begin. Entering from the north corner of the quadrangle, wearing distinctive gold robes and marching a blue gonfalon, are members of the Corpus Cordis Aureum, or Golden Corps of the Heart. Members of this group are Emory alumni who have graduated 50 or more years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, the Corpus Cordis Aureum.
Never fan in, or you have to play again. Tapper fan in, horns. The 2-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty of Emory University are approaching from the south corner of the quadrangle and processing down the center aisle. The faculty is wearing colorful academic gowns and hoods that represent the institutions from which they received their highest degree. Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty of Emory University. The platform party is approaching down the center aisle. The platform party is led by Professor James Larry Talby, the Chief Marshal of the university. The platform party includes the trustees of the university in their gowns of office, the president's cabinet, the deans, distinguished university administrators, faculty and student award recipients, the honorary degree recipients, and the bedell of the university who is carrying the university's mace. President James W. Wagner, the 19th president of Emory University, marches at the end of the procession wearing the gold presidential medallion of office. Ladies and gentlemen, the platform party.
These proceedings are now called to order. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, Emory trustees, faculty, candidates, and all who have given so much to nurture and support those who graduate today, good morning to you. I can't tell you how wonderful you look. Welcome to these 166th commencement exercises of the university. This moment marks the culmination of years of study and preparation that have gone into your degrees. The presence of family here signifies the support, love, and belief in you that helped to make this moment possible. So to all, welcome to this time-honored and festive occasion. I call now upon the Reverend Susan Henry Crow, Dean of the Chapel and of Religious Life, to offer our invocation.
Let us pray. O God, for 175 years, you have watched over and guided Emory University in the joys of educating, the delights of teaching, the gladness of discovery, and the bewilderment of the unknown. We acknowledge that not all that we have done in these last 175 years is noble, and we regret these wrongs. Forgive us and lead us on into the light. On this day, we honor these graduates. Their achievements and contributions are extraordinary. To a perplexed world, this class brings hope. They have been tireless in casting a vision of a world that is green, and communities that are just, and friends that are other, dreams that are large, and prayers that are beautiful. With gladness of heart, we receive these honorees into the company of scholars, redeeming the spaces of the earth, the law, the mind, and public life. They come now to be honored. A native son, for his distinguished service to the healing work and the mysteries of the mind. A humanist, engaging the virtues of heart and mind. An artist full of whimsy and imagination. And a good and noble public servant and guardian of the law. May their lives and work inspire us to continue to ponder and enjoy the mysteries of life, and urge us to commit ourselves anew to public discourse and service. We give thanks for the wisdom and wit, imagination and intellect, service and commitment of Emory's trustees, president, and provost, and all who are stewards of the legacy and visionaries of the future. We pause in gratitude to enjoy this moment. We pray, O God, that you continue to watch over and guide us in all the days ahead. Amen.
Well, class of 2011, you have every right to be proud of the accomplishments that have brought you here to this day. While you have been privileged to receive an education of the kind that is not easy to achieve anywhere, I can assure you that the faculty, staff, and administration of Emory have felt privileged to spend these important years with you. Each graduating class at Emory, those earning graduate and professional degrees along with those finishing undergraduate careers, each class seems to form a distinctive identity for itself. And I think that is certainly true for each of you. You are, in my view, a class of legacy. And what I mean is that you are a class that understands the importance of forging those institutions and practices that not only enhance the community in which you currently live, but also promise to have a lasting influence on the community in years, perhaps even decades to come. It's appropriate that you are graduating during the year in which we observe and celebrate 75 years of Emory's legacy of heart and mind. It is a legacy in which you have participated especially well. But what we celebrate today is the ways in which you have extended and amplified and enriched that legacy. Let me give you some examples. Recall that even before this past academic year began, the Student Government Association, representing all of you graduates as well as all students who will return next year, the SGA held a retreat to examine the strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats it saw in Emory's condition and way of being. This is, at least in my experience, a unique undertaking for a student organization. Notice that the exercise was not in doing an analysis of itself as a student government association. It was an analysis of the larger institution, the greater community, with the aim of making recommendations about how to strengthen Emory in behalf of those who would return to campus after most of those in the SGA had left. It was an effort to leave an imprint. It succeeded by lifting up the entire student body and lifting up the importance of that kind of thinking about the future of others. We see this interest in legacy in some of the enterprises that you have launched along the way. Some of you have thought it good to revive the practice of a yearbook, a publication that has not existed at Emory for 2 decades, but which alumni from previous decades invariably describe as a vital connection to their classmates and to Emory. Thinking to create such a legacy in digital form, you thought to the future about legacy. Others of you have been involved through College Council to establish the Volunteer Council, a body that will help coordinate and thereby multiply the work of our Office of University and Community Partnerships, and also Volunteer Emory. You will not be around to see the fruits of that labor, but Emory and Atlanta will be better for your efforts, for your legacy. Whether it has been serving to advance the work of the Emory Public Interest Committee and the law school, as our Britton Award winner has done, or invigorating one of our secret societies for new service in the community, about which I am forbidden from saying anything more, or seeking to accommodate voices of change without violating the covenants by which we live in community, you have created your own legacy at Emory and your concern for those who will build on your work. And the scope of your legacy and your legacy interests are not just local, they are also global. As a class, you have been shaped by a world whose digital tools and international news tend to push our thoughts to what comes next. This semester, during meetings with student groups like the editors of the student newspaper, the Emory Wheel, and again with Emory scholars and others, I was reminded in a startling way of how different is the world in which we grew up from the world in which you have grown up. When I asked what the big news stories had been in the lives of our students, and I'm asking them to go all the way back to their birth, our freshmen, of course, this year having been born all the way back in 1992. But I asked them to go back, and our students mentioned such things, big news stories, 9/11 attacks, wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, global warming, SARS, swine flu, earthquake in Haiti, tsunami in Southeast Asia, and all of this was before the tsunami in Japan and the death of Osama bin Laden. But what I want you to notice in these news stories, every one of those I listed originated outside of the boundaries of our nation. I suspect that this year the Wheel itself used more ink than ever before in its history in reporting on events around the world. You have grown up as citizens of a global community whose present and future are intimately bound up with your own present and future. You have thus been nurtured to think in terms of how you might work to shore up the future of those who come after you, to be exercising legacy. So, ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2011, I speak with confidence on behalf of your faculty, staff, and administration when I say that we are proud of you and that we are pleased that you have been a part of and have enriched this community that we call Emory. When you leave here, you will, of course, still be part of us. You will carry with you the legacy that you have helped to shape and define. But we have no doubt that you will also identify new ways to create new legacies in new communities for the benefit of the world and for our future, our collective future. In fact, you must do so. Society needs the combination of intellectual power, community experience, and commitment to the future that you have developed and exercised here. With every expectation of your success, congratulations on your achievements, and for what you have been and how you have taught us while you were here. Thank you. Now, as you leave this place and you join an august company of more than 110,000 Emory alumni spread throughout the world, we are honored today to have with us a very special band of those alumni, folks who have demonstrated in their lives and careers the legacy of virtue and knowledge, that same legacy that is now bequeathed to you. The Corpus Cordis Aureum, which is Latin for golden core of the heart, clad in gold robes and with specially commissioned medallions, these alumni are members of the 50th reunion class, as well as classes that graduated from Emory prior to 1961. Before I introduce them to you en masse, I should tell you that among this group is the 2011 recipient of the Judson C. Ward Golden Heart Award, bestowed on Emory alumni who have demonstrated generosity of spirit and willingness to serve others, and exemplary loyalty to Emory, and also a record of extended and exceptional commitment of time and service to Emory. Our recipient this year will celebrate his 100th birthday in October. Please join me in recognizing Emory Williams, Emeritus Trustee and Distinguished Graduate of Emory College, Class of '32. And now, ladies and gentlemen of the Corpus Cordis Aureum, all of you, would you please stand and allow us to appreciate and recognize you? Thank you. Now, you may be interested in a few facts about yourselves, Emory graduates of 2011. There are almost 4,000 degrees and certificates that will be conferred this day. 43% of those will go to men, 57% to women. You know, each year they warn me that I might want to pause for a reaction to that, and you have not let me down. 49 of the United States are represented by our graduates. 566 of today's graduates come from 79 nations abroad, most whose flags, by the way, we try to display at either end of the quadrangle. 32 of our degree recipients are over 50 years of age. And the oldest bachelor's degree graduate, is 49-year-old Kathleen Thompson, expected to earn a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. I assume, Kathleen, they checked that it was okay for me to mention your age. And the same is true for the next one. Our oldest degree candidate overall is 67-year-old Judy Keats with a Master of Divinity. You know, everyone, with your exuberance today, you make us feel young. It's terrific. Now, students who have garnered honors and prizes, they are listed on pages 36 through 48 of your program. Page 36 also are those students who merit special attention by having earned 2 degrees simultaneously. In this case, a bachelor's and a master's degree, or 2 master's degrees, or a master and doctoral degree during their time at Emory. I'm exhausted just reading that. Would the recipients of these simultaneous degrees please stand, and would all of you join me in congratulating them and all the winners of our honors and prizes for our double degree recipients. Representing the many honors garnered by outside students and faculty members, by our outstanding, students and faculty members, 3 university-wide honors will be presented at this ceremony. Details of the accomplishments of these 3 special award winners can be found starting on page 4 of your program. Now, symbolic of all honors bestowed on students by the university is the Marion Luther Britton Award, and it is an expression of gratitude for service performed without expectation of reward or recognition. To present this award, I call on Senior Vice President for Campus Life, John Ford. Dr. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present the 2011 Marion Luther Britton Award to Silas W. Allard. Would Silas's family please stand and be recognized with him? A Robert Woodruff Scholar in both the Candler School of Theology and the School of Law, Silas is a candidate for the Master of Theological Studies and the Juris Doctor degrees. Committed to social justice and international human rights, Silas served as the conference co-chair for the Emory Symposium in observance of the 60th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Among his many other awards and accomplishments, he received the School of Law's Outstanding Commitment to Public Service Award for his work with Emory's Public Interest Committee, and served as the editor of the Emory International Law Review. Congratulations, Silas.
Congratulations, Silas. The Scholar Teacher Award gratefully acknowledges the long and patient work of a member of the Emory University faculty. And it gives me great pleasure to present the 2011 Scholar Teacher Award to Asa Griggs Candler Professor of Chemistry and Biology, Dr. David Gilbert Lynn. Dr. Lynn. As Dr. Lynn comes forward, would previous winners of this honor please stand among our faculty and be recognized, and will family and friends of Professor Lynn also stand to share this honor? David, congratulations. In 2006, Professor Lynn was appointed chair of the Department of Chemistry, and in 2010, he was named a fellow of the prestigious American Association for the Advancement of Science. His research focuses on the origins and evolution of life and involves interdisciplinary work through collaborations with colleagues in the Department of Physics and the School of Medicine, among others. Professor Lynn has also worked with Emory's Neurodegenerative Disease Center to study Alzheimer's disease, and has pioneered collaboration between the natural sciences and the performing arts through ongoing work with Emory College's Center for Creativity and Arts to bring a better understanding of science to the public. Dr. Lynn, great congratulations to you on this well-deserved honor. Now, the Thomas Jefferson Award is Emory's premier recognition for service to the university by a member of the faculty or administration. And it gives me great pleasure to present the 2011 Thomas Jefferson Award to Samuel Dobbs Candler Professor of Chemistry, Dr. Dennis Leota. And again, as he comes forward, will previous winners please stand? And will family of Professor Leota also stand to share this honor? Dennis. Professor Leota is a master of groundbreaking drug therapies. He led the Emory team that developed the breakthrough antiviral drug FTC, which is now used by more than 90% of HIV patients in the United States. He has continued his work on treatment of infectious diseases by founding an organization focused on developing medicines and therapies that are affordable and meet the needs of sub-Saharan Africans. During his career at Emory, Professor Leota has authored more than 200 research publications, holds more than 60 patents, and has lectured at more than 200 events. His work with students has earned him the Emory Williams Distinguished Teaching Award in the Natural Sciences and the Emory University Distinguished Faculty Lecturer Award. He is the recipient of many prestigious fellowships and awards. He is a fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, the American Chemical Society, and the International Society for Antiviral Research. In 2010, he was inducted into the American Chemical Society Medicinal Chemistry Hall of Fame. Professor Leota, great congratulations on this additional honor in your storied career at Emory. Dennis, congratulations. And now I am privileged to present to you Ben Johnson III of the Emory College class of 1965 and chair of Emory's Board of Trustees, so that he might authorize the conferral of your degrees.
President Wagner, esteemed members of the university faculty, and distinguished guests, on behalf of the trustees of Emory University, I take great pleasure in accepting the recommendations of the president and the faculties of Emory University. I hereby authorize you to confer degrees upon the 2011 graduates, together with all appropriate rights, honors, and privileges and responsibilities.
Ben, thank you. Ben, thank you. This morning, we are honored to have on this platform 4 special guests who have distinguished themselves in the fields of art, law, psychiatry, and philosophy, and they will be our first degree recipients today. You will find brief biographies of these eminent individuals on pages 6 and 7 of the commencement program. But before we confer degrees in course, it is our privilege this morning to present these 4 persons Emory's highest honor, the doctoral degree, honoris causa. So Dean Thomas Lawley, will you present our first honored guest?
Mr. President,
Mr. Dean.
I have the honor to place the name of Dr. William R. Beardsley in candidacy to receive the degree of Doctor of Science.
William R. Beardsley, son of Atlanta, psychiatrist, teacher. Linked with Emory by filial bonds and by the power of professional collaborations, you have demonstrated the vision for positive change that defines this community's spirit. The subtle influences of family both inspire and absorb your attention as you delve into the mysterious sources and nature of human resilience. Compassionately, you lead children out of the chamber of depression into the hope of an open future. Your work also brings strength to the Carter Center. Proud of the Emory patrimony that guides you and grateful for your legacy of humane understanding, we bestow upon you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Congratulations. Dean Lisa Tedesco, will you present our second honored guest?
Mr. President,
Madam Dean.
it is my honor to present today to you a candidate, Dr. Martha Nussbaum, to receive the degree Doctor of Letters.
Martha Nussbaum, prolific author, wide-ranging scholar, quintessential humanist. In more than a dozen books and countless essays, you have exercised the virtues of a heart and mind engaged with the world's most pressing questions. Drawing together whole fields of learning without regard to boundaries, you demonstrate with rare seriousness the power that lies in transcending disciplines and prove that the broader way is sometimes the most profound. Your scholarship, shared in general media and far-flung public forums, answers the critical need of our time to develop for dialogue founded in knowledge and imagination and married to reason. For your brilliant example of knowledge used in the service of humanity, we humbly bestow on you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. And Dean Robin Foreman, will you present our third honored guest?
Mr. President,
Mr. Dean.
it is my great honor to present George Trackus to receive the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
George Trackus, sculptor, redeemer of places through art. With whimsy and insight, you teach the eye to see what previously was overlooked, and the spirit to know what before had been unimagined. From Italy to Denmark, from Paris to Brooklyn, from Fishburne Drive to Kilgo Circle, you have made the invisible visible, conferred grace and worth to the hitherto unvalued, and created a sense of reverence for the disregarded. At Emory, you have laid down a route to our source, widening our perceptions of this place and thus of ourselves. For the transformative power of your art and for your legacy of intellect and imagination, we bestow on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations. And Dean David Partlett, will you present our fourth honored guest?
Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you the Honorable Janet Napolitano to receive the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Janet Napolitano, public servant, defender of our homeland. Your exemplary personal and professional standards and your rigorous habits of mind acquired through college, law school, and clerkship suited you to a life devoted to strenuous guardianship of the law in its noblest aims. Over the course of a distinguished career as both an elected and appointed leader at state and national levels, you have acted with consistency of purpose in behalf of those injured by nature or threatened by terror. You temper justice with compassion. You leaven pragmatism with ideals. Grateful for your devotion to securing domestic tranquility, the common defense, and the blessings of liberty, we confer on you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. And at this time, I would like to ask Secretary Napolitano to deliver this morning's keynote address. Dr. Napolitano.
Well, thank you very much, President Wagner. It is a delight to be here at Emory. Congratulations to the class of 2011. Give it up. Let me echo what's been said before. What you are receiving today is the commemoration of a great accomplishment. You should be proud of what you have achieved. Your finals are behind you. Class day is over. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of everybody's pizza and Diet Coke. I'm sure no one tried to sneak in a Pepsi on this campus. It took a lot of support and encouragement, so please take a moment, graduates, to thank your family and your friends who helped you along the way. Give it up for them. Now, commencements like this are always a treat. I am constantly amazed and inspired by the energy on a university campus at graduation time. Now, I've been speaking at colleges and universities throughout the year, talking about the kinds of security challenges our nation faces and how we will surmount those challenges. And one way we are going to do it is with the energy, the intellect, and the creativity of young leaders like you. And this rings particularly true as Emory celebrates its 175th anniversary. What a special place you are receiving a degree from. Across 2 centuries, this university has challenged the minds and spirits of its students. It has broadened our collective understanding of the world around us. I don't have to tell you that Emory students are among the most accomplished and engaged of any students in the country, and this university ranks amongst our nation's finest. Now, I don't have to tell you that, but they asked me to speak for a few minutes, so I will. You lead the nation in areas such as HIV research, neuroscience, the development of new medicines and vaccines. You lead in the classroom and in the laboratory, but also in community engagement and environmental innovation. That's why you won the highly competitive Presidential Award for General Community Service and boast one of the most environmentally sustainable campuses in the United States. Now, yeah, that's a great thing. And let's not forget your athletic prowess. You know, Auburn may have gone undefeated this year, but that certainly cannot match your 175 years without a single defeat on the football field. That's what happens when you don't have a football team. Now, I know for many of us, it's probably hard to imagine what it must have been like to be a student here 175 years ago. When Emory was founded, Charles Darwin was still sailing aboard the HMS Beagle, working on his theory of evolution. The Battle of the Alamo was being waged in Texas. Martin Van Buren had defeated William Henry Harrison to become the 8th President of the United States. And Dooley, the somewhat interesting skeletal figure famous on this campus, was probably still roaming the earth with his vital organs intact. Now, I think I need to mention that since I know that Dooley sometimes merits his own bodyguards, I thought I should let you know that the Secret Service is part of my department, and we are on you all the time. Just telling you. Now, of course, in those early days, there was no Twitter, no Facebook, no CNN. The railroad and the telegraph were still a few years off, and it could take weeks, even months, for news to arrive from around the world. If you wanted to chat with your friends, you actually had to go see them. You actually had to leave your dorm room and go visit with them. Life was much tougher back then. And the rate of change and the kinds of change we've seen have only escalated during my own lifetime. Now, the parents in this audience, and I think we're all about the same age, we remember when we were young that there were only a few channels on the television, and you had to get up and change the channel by hand. Now, if someone loses the remote control, it is a major crisis until it is found again. We prepared our term papers on typewriters. We used a slide rule. And we walked around with punch cards to program computers using Fortran. Our first cars were Ford Pintos. We occasionally wore bell-bottoms and Nehru jackets. Our first cell phones looked like walkie-talkies. I mention these things because today we live in a world where change is a certainty and where the pace of that change is growing ever faster. Past generations really could not bank on the fact that the world would be all that different 4 or 40 or 100 years in the future. But we can. And this gives us greater opportunities, to be sure, but greater risks as well. Your challenge as graduates will be to figure out how to take advantage of the dynamism of today's world and use your unique skills to make it better. To do this, you will have to maintain your equilibrium, your sense of self, in some topsy-turvy conditions. Just look at the 4 years since you were freshmen, 2007. Our economic landscape has changed dramatically, making your job searches much different from those of the seniors who graduated 4 years ago. During this time, we've had a historic presidential election in which the participation of your generation was a major part of history. And across the world, we've seen major developments, such as the rise of China and India, and the recent democratic movements in countries like Egypt and Tunisia. But apart from just noting such change, it's also important for us to remember that the rate of change in our world fulfills a great role. It challenges us, but it also empowers us to shape the world according to how we envision it. And it can open doors that society has never before even imagined. Now take Twitter, for example. Twitter did not even exist until 2006, when the seniors graduating today were in high school. Now it is ubiquitous. You're probably tweeting during my speech because you have an app for Twitter on your smartphone. In 2006, we didn't have an app for that. We didn't have an app for anything. Changes in social media and the opportunities they have created have touched us all, including, for example, at the Department of Homeland Security. For example, today we are leveraging social media tools like FEMA, which has a mobile website to enable victims of disasters, including survivors of the recent tornadoes right here in Georgia and across Alabama, Mississippi, the entire Southeast. But it enables them to register for female assistants right from their smartphone. That's just one of the many examples we could cite. So all of you face this challenge to seize the opportunity of change, even though all of you will go on to do many different things. For some of you, the next 4 years of change will mean moving very far away and doing things you never thought you would do, such as waking up before 10 o'clock in the morning. You know of which I speak. My own career has taken me from law school and legal practice to elective office, and today to heading a massive government agency with more than 230,000 employees. There's no exact roadmap for that, but all along I've had a strong interest in community service and public service, and that has never waned. And I hope that all of you, no matter where your careers take you, will give thought to how your unique talents can help serve the common good. There are always opportunities for people who are doctors or lawyers to do the important work of giving back to their communities. But there are also needs for people of all kinds of talents to participate and to volunteer. It is critical that we have people willing to give their time to do things like help children learn, or, as we've seen across the South in recent weeks, to help with organizations like the Red Cross to assist after a disaster. This points out the fact that your communities need you, and we also need you in government itself. We need our best and brightest graduates working on today's challenges, and there are many, from preventing the spread of pandemic disease to countering the ever-evolving threats of terrorism, to reducing the impact of major disasters, to ensuring a safe and secure cyberspace. We also need more experts in science or business or engineering, whatever your field, involved in policymaking. We need a diversity of talent so that, for example, when a complex disaster occurs, like last year's BP oil spill, we can immediately marshal biologists, oceanologists, physicists, engineers, and a myriad of others to deal with all of the issues presented. My hope is that someday we will come to see public service as a common, even standard part of any career path, whether in the private sector, in academia, or elsewhere. There shouldn't be high walls between public service and other fields. It should be the norm for people from outside the government to work inside the government to help solve our society's pressing problems. So no matter what career path you begin on, you should be able to spend a few years of your adult lives in government applying your particular talents and expertise to a public challenge. This is the vision of public service we are trying to promote, and that will need your generation to move forward. So as you embark on the next phases of your lives, I hope some of you will consider spending some time in government, in public service, even though at times it may seem like in our government we can't even agree about the source of our own disagreements. But if you would permit me to close with one last piece of advice, do not fall for a cynical view. Democracy in a big country like ours has always been noisy. It's always been contentious. If you think attack ads are bad today, even the most revered figures in our history dealt with the rough nature of democracy, precisely because the stakes are so high and the issues are so important. When John Adams ran for president in the election of 1800s, he was called, quote, querulous, bald, blind, crippled, and toothless. And for the record, his allies shot back that if Thomas Jefferson were elected, quote, the soil would be soaked in blood and the nation black with crimes. That was in 1800. Now, thankfully, it didn't exactly work out that way. And the point is that you shouldn't be afraid to dive in. Emory has prepared you well for all of the challenges of a vibrant and contentious democracy. Indeed, as many of you know, on one of the pillars of the beautiful gate here on campus, there are 2 inscriptions. The quotes are attributed to Atticus Green Haygood, who graduated from Emory College in 1859 and served as president of Emory from 1875 to 1884. The first inscription says, quote, "Nothing praises or pleases God like service." And the second says, quote, "Let us stand by what is good and try to make it better." To me, these quotes are as timely now as they were then. Now it is your turn to take what you find in the world and make it better, and to commence this next exciting phase of your lives. You will find that Emory has prepared you with more than academic knowledge. This university has also prepared you in ways that you didn't necessarily expect and that will only reveal themselves over time. The value of an Emory education cannot be measured in dollars alone. It must be measured in having the critical thinking skills that our ever-changing society demands. So, you have that education. You are about to be receiving your degrees. Take that knowledge and take that Emory inspiration and help us apply it to the community, to the common good. I wish all of you the best in whatever the future holds. I wish all of you the best of luck, smooth winds, and fair sailing. Thank you for having me with you today. Give it up to the class of 2011.
Secretary Napolitano, now Dr. Napolitano, thank you for that challenge to further service and for being the inspiration that you are around service. Well, as Secretary Napolitano said, you are about to receive your degrees. We now come to the conferral of degrees in course, and the deans will present their candidates for degree in order in which the schools of the university were founded. Although there are 2 exceptions. The graduate school will have pride of place at the end to connote the highest degree awarded in course, Doctor of Philosophy degree. And the degrees awarded to this year's graduates of Oxford College, those were awarded 2 days ago in Oxford, Georgia. In fact, would previous graduates of Oxford College stand so that we can recognize you and honor Oxford? Thank you. Dean Foreman, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of Emory College of Arts and Sciences please rise? And will the student marshals come forward? Mr. President,
Mr. Dean,
I have the great honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of Emory College of Arts and Sciences.
you are heirs heirs to a tradition of academic apprenticeship reaching back more than 800 years, and you have proven yourselves worthy of that tradition. So I hereby confer your baccalaureate degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Great congratulations to you. And you may be seated. And Dean Lawley, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of the School of Medicine please rise, and will the student marshals come forward? Mr. President.
Mr. Dean.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Medical Science, Master of Medical Science, Doctor of Physical Therapy, and Doctor of Medicine. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of the School of Medicine.
Trained in the healing arts, you have demonstrated proficiency in sciences and technologies that serve humanity. Shortly, you will assume responsibility for all who commit their health and lives to your knowledge. I hereby confer your medical degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations to you. And you may be seated. Dean McCauley, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of the Nell Hudson Woodruff School of Nursing please rise, and will the student marshals please come forward? Mr. President.
Madam Dean.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of the Bachelors of Science in Nursing and Masters of Science in Nursing. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of the School of Nursing.
Your profession offers the highest commitment to care for the whole person in the midst of changing demands of healthcare. I confer hereby your nursing degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations to you. Dean Love, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of the Candler School of Theology please rise, and will the student marshals please come forward? Mr. President.
Madam Dean.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Master of Theological Studies, Master of Divinity, and Master of Theology. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of Candler School of Theology.
You have learned to probe spiritual mysteries, to minister to the often intractable spiritual ills that afflict individuals in society, and to exercise pastoral leadership and healing discernment, and to offer a message of love, peace, joy, and hope. I hereby confer your theology degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Warm congratulations. And you may be seated. Dean Bartlett, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of the School of Law please rise? And will the student marshals please come forward? Mr. President,
Mr. Dean,
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Juridical Science, Doctor of Law, and Master of Laws. Will the candidates please rise?
Wow, big group.
These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the School of Law.
As civilization rests on a foundation of justice, you bear the obligation to establish justice ever more firmly among us. I hereby confer your law degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Great congratulations. Dean Benvenisti, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of the Roberto C. Goizueta Business School please rise, and will the student marshals please come forward? Mr. President.
Mr. Dean.
Mr. President.
Over here.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration and for the degree of Master of Business Administration. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of Goizueta Business School.
Accomplished in the language of trade, finance, and management, you are charged to go forth to accomplish the world's business and to do so with integrity as well as skill, fostering greater understanding among all peoples as the commerce of nations brings us in touch with what is different and new. I hereby confer your business degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations. You may be seated. And Dean Curran, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Give it up for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Will the faculty of the Rollins School of Public Health please rise, and will the student marshals please come forward? Mr. President.
Mr. Dean.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of the Master of Public Health and the Masters of Science in Public Health. Will the candidates now please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the Rollins School of Public Health.
As you address the endemic ills and epidemic diseases of our communities, you join men and women who have devoted their lives to making a healthier society. I hereby confer upon you your respective degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations. And Dean Tedesco, will you present your candidates for degree in course?
Will the faculty of the James T. Laney School of Graduate Studies please rise, and will the student marshals please come forward? Mr. President.
Madam Dean.
I have the great honor to present the candidates for the degrees Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Business Science, Master of Music, Master of Sacred Music, and Master of Science. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the Laney Graduate School.
You have earned the implicit vocation of teacher. Whatever your career may be, having demonstrated a measure of mastery of your discipline. So I hereby confer upon each of you the appropriate degree with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations to you. And you may be seated.
Mr. President,
Madam Dean.
I have the additional distinct honor to present the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and their dissertations and are recommended for the degrees by the faculty of the Laney Graduate School.
You have attained the highest degree awarded in course, and I take great pride and pleasure in welcoming you to the ancient and honorable company of scholars, and I hereby confer upon each of you your doctoral degree with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Great congratulations. And you may be seated. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am able to present to you Emory University's class of 2011 with congratulations to all. That's wonderful. And now, it is a pleasure to introduce to you William Brocious, Gosweda Business School class of 85, and president of your newest affiliation, the Emory Alumni Association.
Distinguished graduates, as president of the Emory Alumni Association, I have the privilege of welcoming you to the ranks of alumni status. While your cherished status as students may have ended all too quickly, you each will bear the title of alumnus or alumna for the rest of your lives. Today, you join a dynamic group of men and women, more than 110,000 strong. Would everyone in the audience who is an alumnus or alumna of Emory University, except for today's graduates, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Please be seated. And would the class of 2011 please stand to be recognized as Emory's newest alumni. Class of 2011, we hope that you, like your fellow alumni, will maintain ties to Emory, will help build its future, and will always feel at home here. As your colleagues, we know that the university has imparted values as well as knowledge, and we look forward to witnessing the leadership you provide in the communities of your choice. Wherever you go, you will always be part of the Emory community and will take Emory with you. As you make your mark in the world, stay in touch, stay involved, visit often, and let us hear from you. We wish you well, and congratulations.
Thank you, Bill, and you may be seated. Graduates, as you depart from this place for the time being, please cherish the memory of those who have worked so hard to help you on your way. At this moment, I would like to ask all faculty and staff to stand so that the graduates may salute them for the knowledge that they have given them and the tremendous work they all have done. Faculty, staff, please. Well deserved. And there's another group that deserves a second round of recognition, offered first at the prompting of Secretary Napolitano. Will all parents, family members, partners, and spouses of today's graduates please stand so that the graduates may salute you for your love, support, and guidance. Wonderful. Finally, and I do mean finally, for this event, serving in my capacity as president of Emory University, I have the privilege of speaking the last official word to you. As you embark on your next chapter of your lives, I hope you will recall the words that express the vision of this place, of this university. Recall that your lives should be inquiry-driven, that your hearts and minds should be ethically engaged, and that the best community is one that makes room for the miraculous diversity of humankind. Remember to be at work for positive transformation in the world through your own courageous leadership, no matter what field of endeavor you work in. We are privileged to have been together during these times, but with such great privilege comes also great responsibility. To whom much is given, from them much will also be required. We have no doubt, I have no doubt, that with your Emory education, you will leave here and you will do well, very well. But even as you do well, I challenge you also to do good. On behalf of Emory University, I congratulate you and wish you my very best. And for myself, I wish you Godspeed. Congratulations to all of you. And now, as we are able, let us all rise to receive the benedictions.
Words from the Buddhist tradition. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused with wisdom and compassion, today, in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world.
Words from the Hindu tradition. Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. We meditate on the supreme radiance of the sun, whose light pervades the three worlds, the physical, the subtle, and the causal. May that light always guide our intellect in the right direction. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Words from the Muslim tradition. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَقِيلَ الَّذِينَ أَعْتَقُوا مَاذَا أَنزَلَ رَبُّكُمْ قَالُوا خَيْرًا لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ دُنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَلَدَارُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ وَنِعْمَ دَارُ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Amen. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. To the righteous, it is said, "What is it that your Lord has revealed?" They said, "All that is good. To those who do good, there is good in this world, and the home of the hereafter is even better, and excellent is the home of the righteous."
Words in the Jewish tradition. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and protect you. May God make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift up his face toward you and grant you peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has granted us life, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this occasion.
A Christian blessing. Lord God, your Son, Jesus Christ, entered a temple in Nazareth and unrolled the scroll of an ancient text. To all who would listen, he proclaimed a time of fulfillment and of justice, reflecting the pattern of life and love that you have magnificently woven into the fabric of the universe. Empowered by the Holy Spirit, let us proclaim this time to be a year of your favor and our fulfillment. Let the light of knowledge allow us to work towards charity, peace, and justice. May we too bring glad tidings to the poor, proclaim liberty to captives, free the oppressed, and by doing so, live according to your will. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen, indeed. Now please continue to stand for the singing of Emory's alma mater by a special commencement a cappella quartet. Those lyrics are printed on the first page of your program.
Thy praises, sons and daughters true. Hail we now our alma mater, hail the gold and blue.
Hail the golden blue. Thank you. And now would the new graduates of Emory College of Arts and Sciences be seated? And also, all families and guests, please be seated as the faculty and the non-college graduates march to their respective diploma ceremonies. Those ceremonies will begin at the times and in the locations indicated on page 7 of the program. And once the graduates have departed, the gates in these seating aisles will open up so that those Emory College family members wishing to move a little closer may do so. Please allow those family members leaving the quadrangle a lane in the aisles to pass by, and wait patiently, if you would, until the gates are open before walking slowly to your new seats. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to clear the way and to let the recessional begin. Congratulations to all.